fact, even in school, everything prepares you for what is to come.
Yes.
Your present, like right now, this present moment, prepares you for a future.
Each stage of life
Is preparing for something. I'm sure for some people, the highest problem they had in school was one romantic relationship problem, one boyfriend dating issue or the other.
I look at adults around me now, and one of the things that if you can open my mind, and when I'm looking at adults, sometimes when I look at adults, I picture them when they were babies. Like how was this man have been when he was a baby, when they were children. I love to be around adults along, like to hear them speak, like to hear their experiences.
That's why
and you do
an adult yourself. Hi.
Hello.
Good day, everybody, from wherever you are listening from. Of course, this is the Safe Space podcast with Princess, and this is where you learn, you unlearn, and you grow. The words spoken on here are spirit and life, on faith and life. If you're a Christian, you're a non-Christian, you're welcome here. So there was an episode where I talked about that your world is bigger, and I kind of equated it to school and my own understanding of how that had thought that school was everything. School was like my world then, until after school I'm like, oh my god, school is just like a minute aspect of what my life is about, what my world is about. And I realized that, oh well, my world is bigger. And so I decided that, you know what, and I mentioned it then, I was going to have a guest with me that's going to talk about life after school, how that the world is bigger, how that the world expands. And so we're just going to be having a very beautiful conversation with my friend. Is here, my friend and my brother. Would you like to introduce yourself? He's many things in one. A marketing prodigy, I've had this say it, public relations, went into like printing, news, writing, is a lot in one. And this just seems like the best, perfect candidate for talking about this topic. Your world is bigger, and then life after school. So you're in college, you're about to enter college, you are not in college, you're outside of school, you're just leaving school. This is definitely for you. Or maybe you're just years after, you just want to make an understanding of that aspect of your life or that time, that phase, then this is actually also for you. So you're welcome. Introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. All right, so hello everyone. I'm Abiola Ogunleye, Leia Abiola, and I think she said I'm a marketing prodigy. Yeah. So I think I'll just say I'm building a career in brands and communications, but I generally function in the media space. So everything that is needed to pass across information through the right medium to the right people, so across whatever channel and in whatever project. So that's what I currently do, and yeah. But I'm also no longer a graduate. I'm no longer an undergraduate. Praise God. So yeah, I think that's the only thing that maybe qualifies me to speak on this topic. But yeah, it's a privilege to be on this Safe Space podcast. Thank you for having me.
Well, like you said, it is a Safe Space podcast, so you are safe.
Okay.
Your story is safe. This conversation is safe.
And I didn't mention my name.
You already mentioned your name. So everybody that knows you will know that it's safe here.
Alright, yes.
Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. So we'll just get right into it. Right. How was the transition from school into life, into building a career? How did you make sense of all of this? I guess I want to speak on behalf of every person that is leaving school or just left school and probably like entering into the market space, the labor market space, and the employment and everything. How is it going? In fact, even for people that probably thought that they had their life figured out in school, probably they had like gigs that were doing or job or a career. I'm talking on behalf of those people as well. What was the transition like?
What was the transition like leaving school into life after school, basically? So I think I'd say for me, I'd already started thinking about it sometime in school. So we had the COVID-19 break when I was in my third year back then. So in 300 level, yeah, back then, like that feels like such a long time now. So back then I was already in my third year and we were supposed to go for internship, but since the COVID-19 break caused the break in all that we were doing, I decided to just start reading up more on what were the prospects of my career and everything. And there's a way they will keep telling you that you can work anywhere after school and you can do all of this. I wanted to find that right and properly understand, okay, what exactly is it that is going to be happening when we are done with all of this, because there was a goal coming into school for me, coming into mass comm. There was a goal for me. I wanted to become this person that I said I am currently becoming now, someone who can use communication to solve problems. That was my goal for picking my course already from the onset. So I was already, when I saw I was nearing the end of my time in school, I started picturing an opportunity to actually put what I've been learning into practice, and that was what I took it on. So I just took it as another challenging phase of life, another challenge that comes with being alive and putting to practical what I've been learning. So that was really the transition for me. But when it comes with maybe now emotional wise, because I'm guessing that's what you want to know, like the thoughts that were running in my head, right? Those kind of I think some of the thoughts that were ever in my head when I was leaving school was school kinds of provides a stability to life. You agree with me? Because at least you know that there's at least a timetable, there's semester, there's session, there are goals that even if you are lazy, you know that at the end of a particular set of months, they will tell all of you to leave the hostel and go back to your house. You resume back. So at least that provides some sort of structure for your life. But leaving school, you're on your own. Whether you like, it's like it's a blank canvas for you to, paint your own future. So that stability that school provided was something I started missing from my 400 level, because I was like, when I'm done, what's happening after now? So in my head space, to be honest, I was a bit worried about what's going to happen now that this safe space of school, as it were, is leaving. I mean, the fact that accommodation was something that you could handle yourselves. I did not live in Lagos. My parents lived in Ibadan, so I could not comfortably go back home to Ibadan. And also, so it was part of the thoughts that, am I going to go back to Ibadan? Am I going to stay in Lagos? How am I going to do with work now? I'd already had some places I was interning, so I wasn't too worried about job, so to say. I had some places that I could get job offers, but it was more of a place of location and finding the next step forward, the right step forward, where the two challenges, that was where my head was. So location, am I staying in Lagos or in Ibadan? And as a believer, one of the things that was very strong for me about location was, God can be very particular about some things about our lives also. So am I to go back to Ibadan because I had responsibilities in Ibadan as a believer, church and all of that, or am I just to start in Lagos? The only community of believers I was used to in Lagos was, the school fellowship I attended. So am I starting afresh? Am I sure I'll be consistent as I was in school, outside school, without that same set of people? And understanding that for us as believers, purpose goes beyond whether we are working or we are making money or we are living fine lives. So I also wanted to, those were things that I struggled with a lot in final year. And to be honest, what I did that period was I did a lot of prayers. I used to do a lot of prayers, a lot of prayer work, because a brother of mine usually says something to me from Ibadan. He says something that, the man who prays is the one that can be sure that he will walk in God's counsel. There's a way he puts it, someone who has the light of God will not walk in darkness, right? And a way to constantly remind yourself that you have the light of God is also to fellowship with that light. So I just did a lot of prayer, and I learned to calm down and let things work itself out little by little. So that was the transition for me. It was challenging at finding the next steps because I like to plan things out, but it was kind of difficult planning things out. As we get into the course of the interview, I'll talk to some of those things. But it was difficult to plan things out. Conversation.
Yes.
Apologies.
Yes. I think maybe because of the way you said it, I feel like you had maybe half of the problem solved. Especially when you mentioned that you had like, okay, there are places that you could go to for a job or something like that. So like you mentioned, the major problem was making decisions as per location and a place of worship. That is actually where I'm going to go into right now. Especially you mentioned that there's this structure and stability that comes with being in school. I think everybody felt it. Everybody likes that. In fact, even if you don't have anything going on in your life, you know that at this point in my life I should focus on school. I should focus on getting out with a good degree and everything. So if anybody is saying that I make this a day or something, I have this job,
your mind with I'm in school, I'm going to class,
exactly, I'm a student. When you're about to fill a form and like they ask, are you employed, and you are worried, you can put students, even though you are worried that this friend is working, that friend is working, this they have like a lot of things going on, they are self-employed or anything, you can just be like assured that I'm still a student. I'm sure a student. So when you now leave that safety, how do you get into that immediate push of adulthood? Because now you know that you're making your decisions that would mar or make your life. How did you start grow into that adultness? I don't know if that's the best way to capture that question. Because in school, you know that parents are paying your school fees. I'm talking about people that their parents are paying their school fees. Some people have had to grow up really, really fast and early. But for some people that they didn't grow up so fast, and there was this shelter in school, at home, and now it's like after school, shelter at school, gone. Shelter at home, gone. It's like you are thrown into the wild.
So to be honest, I think I started thinking about these things way earlier. Like I said, I think and it's one thing I'm doing for my younger ones and young people around me, right? I think from when as you grow, you should start thinking about the fact that life is beyond this phase, and the way to know it, that's the essence of our conversation, right? I know, right? But I think we have to, because we often wait till the thing about I don't know if it's just the Nigerian society, but the thing about the Nigerian society I've noticed is we rather allow people find out things for themselves rather than point some things out to them. I'm not saying everybody should get everything added to them on a platter of gold, but I'm saying that there are some conversations that we need to start having, especially with younger people. And I don't blame the older generation, because I mean, we are in it now and we know how life can be so not frustrating, overwhelming, that you don't even have time to think of one small baby and just like let her enjoy right now. For example, over the weekend now, I did not know that my little sister, who is 10 by the way, did not know that Santa Claus was not real. So I mistakenly thought we're watching TikTok together, and I was like, see, these people, they've started with their fake Santa Claus, someone that is not real. And she screamed. And I was like, wait, you don't know that Santa Claus is not real? And she was like, what?
Oh my God.
She was so heartbroken. Then after a while, I now calmed down and I explained to her. She was not like, That day she was so angry, she didn't want to talk to me. But the day after, she was not like, thank you for telling me, because it would have been worse if I found out from someone outside. I would have even said that they were lying. And that made me think, see, I think we have to start having some little conversations that would let people know that life is a moving train or something. It's a journey. It's a journey, and you have to start thinking of what's the next bus stop, and thinking of it in a way, we'll get to it also in this conversation, thinking of it in a way not where you're anxious or worried about what's coming, but thinking of it in a way that you know that you are here for a purpose. There's a script. It's like someone that has a drama script. There's a script, and you are moving from one chapter to the other, from one act to the other, and you just have to prepare that for the next chapter. These are the things I need. So that's this whole thought about what's going to happen after school, being responsible for my life as well, is something that I already started working on, to be honest, as soon as I finished secondary school. And I think that's why I said I think everyone that is listening now, whether you're in school and you have people providing for your needs and all of that, I think to some extent, if you've not started thinking about it, I think it's good to start thinking about it. What is it that I want to do with my life? Now, you don't have to figure everything out at once. You're never you can't, most likely will not figure everything out at once. But the fact that you're thinking about it it will make it easy when you see options around you that can guide you somehow in the way of that thing. For example, if you go to a market now, if you don't have anything you want to buy in mind, everything it just looks like you're just walking through and anything calls to you. But in your mind, if you're like, okay, I need a shawl or something I can wear to maybe an Halloween party, in your mind you are subconsciously, the only things that will appeal to you are things around Halloween costume when you're walking through. So I feel that those kind of thoughts about what do I want to do with my life are things that people should start maybe thinking about a bit earlier. So for me, leaving secondary school, I was already thinking about, okay, what I actually want to do. At first I wanted to study law, but when I got into SS2, SS3, I discovered that no, I don't want to argue, I don't want to fight and win cases. And I know lawyers do a lot more than that, awesome. But I actually I know that I'm good at writing, I'm good at speaking. These are communication skills. I want to use this to help people, I want to use this to solve problems. And that was just the motivation for me. Okay, what can I use? What course can I study that would be able to teach me how to use different skills, different communication patterns to address different people? And mass communicating to a mass audience. And that was just this for me at that point. Then when I got into school and I started discovering the different segments and all of that, and entering into school, I determined that I wanted to leave school as an adult that would be responsible for myself. And I started working towards it while in school. I still have parents that they're not parents that would be like, oh, go and fend for yourself, find your school fees by yourself. But I think I've just always been that child that maybe it comes with being the firstborn. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe some people say that because I've always been that person who is thinking about, okay, these people are going to get old one day. They're not going to, this source of money or strength they have is not going to be there forever. So what can I do so that whenever they are not that able again, I can take care of myself and all of that. So while I was in school, I was actively working towards that. That was why I would get involved in press club activities, get involved with they are doing something here, let's go and check what is out, before I now started narrowing down to, okay, these are the things I want to focus on. So I think for students currently still in school, someone about to start in school, one thing you should just start thinking about is, what do I actually want to? I think it's a crucial, once you are leaving secondary school and you're going to university, it's a conversation I think everyone should start thinking and have it with your younger ones, have it with your children, have it with teenagers around you. What do you actually want to do with your life? And have it from the sense of not they have to figure out everything actually. It should just be a thought somewhere that I'm not just in this world to just exist and be my mom's little daughter or my elder brother's best thing in the world, or just be that individual, just that person. There must be something. They call it a future ambition, but I think people just drop it down to a question that you just answer in yearbook, or you just answer when people ask you, and we're not thinking about all the other things that are required to get to that place.
Yeah.
So I think that was it for me. And so while I was in school, I was actively working towards all this. For me, I don't know if I'm answering this.
Yeah, you are. So in all of this, it felt like as though your mind was kind of prepared, right, to get into the world per se. Did it make decisions or making decisions easier? Did it make the transition, yeah, you should have made it easier, right? But like all those decisions that you know that this is going to like alter my life as a whole, like I'm responsible for my decisions, like being in that place that you've always prepared your mind for, did it make it easier? How is it like now?
Decisions. So the truth is, even though it's something I've been thinking about, it did not make it any easier. Like I told you, in 400 level, I was constantly worried. And worried about a lot of things. For example, even though I said I wasn't worried about job, I was a bit worried that, okay, is it just going to be this, or is there going to be more? I was worried about life also, that okay, like I mentioned about location now. If I am, for example, I think some people say I'm not an overthinker, but I tend to think I overthink things a lot. Maybe because I don't say it out. For example, if I'm in Lagos and I'm supposed to be in Ibadan, and maybe I'm supposed to meet one man that in Ibadan, the man will just be like, well, come and be my comms person for my company, and I'm in Lagos and I never meet the person. That would constantly like change.
I think for what you just mentioned, I think every Christian go through it. This constant thought of, am I in God's perfect will? Is this where I'm supposed to be, or am I supposed to be in that other place?
So you see that in fact, I think having too much, when you have all the options and you have too much options, sometimes can be difficult. And also finishing with a good grade, there were a lot of come and work here, and for me at that point also, it was like different sectors, so different parts of communication that I could have gone into, and I was constantly second guessing that, okay, did I actually do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? But one thing I've also learned about knowing that life is beyond where you are right now is that you should learn to give yourself grace. I say it a lot, but I mean, I should learn to give myself grace too. But it's one thing I usually think about. So even when I was going through all those decisions, am I supposed to do this or do that? Am I supposed to go for this job or not? Am I supposed to be in this city or now? Am I supposed to? I mean, I even had to think about church too, right? Okay, am I staying in this church? Am I going to this church? There are even relationships that have spoiled, or in a way they have been ruptured because of church choices right now.
Relationships? What kind of relationships?
Like church relationships, like like normal friendships, yes, or those kind of things where
I helped you guys out anyways.
No romantic relationship, but wait, not romantic relationships, I'm talking normal familiar relationships, I think that's the word. So that have been destroyed because of or hampered, don't let me say totally destroyed, but hampered because of even those church decisions. So in all of that, I just kept knowing, in all of that, it wasn't exact. So I'm saying all of this so that it wasn't exactly easy actually, even though I already was preparing myself mentally for it, because nothing prepares you for it until when you're actually in it. So for me, for example, I had to now start living with an uncle after school. I had to, before it was just dropping by, I'll go back to my school. I don't have to be, now I'm actually staying there. I have to be kind of responsible in the house. I have to also be responsible at my place of work. Before I could be like, oh, I'm busy with project or something, but now you are done with school, what excuse do you want to give? Like you mentioned, there's no excuse. I also had to start thinking about, okay, this money that is coming in now, I have to start thinking of how to manage it, or at least try to make it last me to the end of the month or something. So I had to actively now start doing that.
That is
after school. I had to actively start doing that after school, because when I was in school, I mean, I was involved in a couple of gigs and I could bring in money, and for me, since money was still coming from home and you could still get money, you are not spending money on a lot of things. Now that I think about it, as much as you think we are spending money in school, we're not spending as much money as we actually. I mean,
expenses choke.
So I mean, but where I would still say it's about still thinking about it while you're still in school is, for example, for folks that currently stay in hostels outside school, that have to pay rent and all of that. Even if it's your parents that pay it, start putting yourself in the place about, okay, how does this rent come in? Because you see that whether you pay your rent or whether you had a good month or you know, by the end of the month, or by the end of the year, once your rent is not complete, the landlord is going to have to say leave or pay my rent. So that same mindset applies to life too. You can't just exist and be flowing along with life like that, or else you will find yourself in just any place too. It's like when they say if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for nothing. So if there really is nothing about a particular, like if someone is just standing and not doing anything, I think they are the kind of people. I understand that life can be cruel, and sometimes there are things that some people do so well and they still end up with nothing. But I think most of the time it's people, or sometimes some people that don't do anything about their lives, that are just like a daisical about their lives, not planning, not wanting to actively do anything, are the ones that find themselves anywhere, irrespective of all the opportunities that come to them. So even in knowing that those decisions were confusing to make, knowing that adjusting was not easy, one thing was that you still had to keep taking action. You still had to ensure that you are doing something. Not taking a decision is also a decision. And
is entering into this life because I feel like
is also a decision.
It is after school that I entered into life. That's what I think. I'm like, welcome. I just started living life.
But entering into life, what do you mean?
So, like, entering into life, that's when I realized all of these things, that you have to always make a decision. You have to always take action. Like, I'm always like, can everywhere just pause? Can living pause?
I know, right? We all think that.
Can everything just pause? Like, everything is just fast paced. Everything is like,
it's like a big machine, and one at
it feels like another. In school it was slow. Everything was happening so slow.
Yeah, when you think about
especially because of the strike, the everything, the nation world strike of COVID. Everything was just making it slow. It's like you've been in school for a very long time.
Yeah.
You've been in school for like years. You have been studying this same course, so you're just used to the slow paced life.
I am almost adapted to the lecture.
Exactly.
The
so there's the structure, there's the safe space. Everything is just cushion, soft life. The highest problem you have is passing a course.
Or having a bad grade on a course.
That's probably the highest problem. Or friendship wahala. You're just like, even now, if I have any friendship, I'm like, this also affects my life. This is the list of my problems. So in school, you're just like, oh, one friend is not talking to you, and you're worried. Or like maybe you said something about a friend and you're not scared, like, I don't want this friend to be. It's just like friendship problem. And I'm just like, all these problems that I used to have, all these problems I felt like was the whole thing, like, this thing is like the whole life, and this whole problem, fellowship, like making it in time for fellowship, doing your, like, if you're in executive positions, all of those things, they felt like really, really big. And so now entering into life, as I'll put it, it's just like, this is like child's play.
But you see, so that's the thing for me. I mean, I was in fellowship too, and I would say now the part about friends, if someone is not talking to you, I think that one maybe I don't know if I'm speaking for a lot of guys, but I doubt if a lot of guys were maybe bothered by that.
You were the one that is not bothered by that. It is you,
an individualistic sense.
Maybe not individualistic, but you just had like a carefree, everybody goes, everything goes kind of this thing.
Personally,
because I'm sure for some people the highest problem they had in school was one romantic relationship problem, one boyfriend dating issue or the other.
That's why I said. So that's why I said that's why I said it starts with why, like what's the motive behind why you're doing what you're doing. And that's why I'm saying for people in school, because there's a way someone can even be in school right now and they are doing all the right things that should actually be preparing them for life after school, but they're not paying attention to it. They're just seeing it as a normal something that they're just going through the motions, and when they now get out, they'll not be like, Because for me, I mean, anytime a lot of things happen to me at work or even in life these days, and I'm like, oh, that's what this thing was preparing me for back then. For example, when conflict happens at work and we're trying to decide, okay, what should we do, or there are just some difficult people at work they're trying to handle, and I'm just like, oh, I remember I've encountered someone like this before, like this. So and that's how I see life. Really, I see the wealth of knowledge that we have in our brains based on our past experiences is not there as just memories for us to reflect upon. It's there as something that we can learn. Exactly. It's not even the terrible ones, even the embarrassing ones. They are there for us to use them to work with for what's ahead of us.
Do you know what I just learned now? I just learned that our life is actually like just one. Our life it's never like, in fact, the ones that we think that are in phases, they are all so connected.
It's just because eventually when the person dies, it's going to be 1930 to 2012.
It's just one life. It's just one. There's no breakage.
So
there's no breakage.
Which is why I'm saying that I think it's very important. It would be really helpful if we start drumming that consciousness into people's mind. I'm not saying you should not allow them to be children.
Of the next.
I think
every phase is a shadow of the next. It's like shadowing the next. One thing, especially when you talked about relationships at work, this thing is that you're like, oh, everything prepares you for what's to come. And so many times we like right now, this present moment prepares you for a future we are going through now. Each stage of life is preparing for something. In fact, maybe the what's the word now, the topic or the theme, your world is bigger, is probably not even the best way to capture this conversation, because I've just realized now that everything is also connected. There's no one that is minute, there's no experience that is minute than the other. So many times the reason why we feel like, that one was small, or that really the thing at that point is because we're not looking at the big picture. Because every president right now is not like, it should not be too overwhelming that it consumes us.
So that's it. If that's one thing people take away from this conversation, know that whatever you're going through right now is just a fraction of your whole world. So what we do right now it's in two ways. So what you do right now can have a great it might have a great impact on your world, like on what happens next, because one action can trigger another action and eventually find yourself in a result because of the action. And also knowing that, so which is why I said it can have two ways. Also, the fact that something is happening to you right now, which is maybe in the bad side, it might not really contribute to the future. So even if it's very terrible, you don't have to be too worried about it, because in God's so good, you're not the only one that is totally responsible for your future. There will be people along the way. There's the place of God along the way, and there will be people, even if people don't believe in God, there will be people along the way, and how people react or choose not to react to whatever you are doing also determines the result you would sometimes get. So it's in two ways, and I think so people might be listening now and be thinking that, oh, you're asking us to be thinking of the big picture, and it sometimes gets so overwhelming and all of that. But this is how I look at it. I look at adults around me now, and one of the things that if you can open my mind, and when I'm looking at adults, sometimes when I look at adults, I picture them when they were babies. Like how was this man have been when he was a baby, when they were children. I love to be around adults along, like to hear them speak, like to hear their experiences.
That's why an adult yourself.
My friends.
It's like your mind is older than your age.
I beg you. So, but because the truth is, every adult now has also passed through a lot of things that they've gone through that has directly or indirectly made them in some way what they are now. But they would also tell you that there are some things that they've gone through that they did not do anything to it. It just happened. So it's freeing, which maybe if we get to a later part of this conversation, but I'm trying to put it in now that as much as you are thinking that you are knowing that there's a big picture, life is beyond now, I have to start thinking of what's that I have to start looking at this moment as a moment that connects to the next. I don't have to get too lost in this moment, forgetting that, oh, this might not be everything, something else comes after this. As much as you are thinking that, also be free to know that you're not entirely also responsible for the future. What you currently have is now. So the best you can do in that kind of situation where you know that the future might be based off what you do or might be based off what you don't do, is to actually do what you can do, control what you can in that moment. Because it's two, I'll say it again now, there are two different possibilities. It's either because of what you did, you get something good, or because of what you did, you get something bad. Or in the future, what you get is not even based off what you did or not. But you can control, what you can control is what you do. You can't say that because of that I won't do anything, because if you don't do anything, it's also a decision. So but you can control what you do, ensure that what you do is actually good, so that you get something good in return. The
summary of it is don't be paralyzed by the future.
Don't
let your present, like, as much as we are saying that this present is a minute fraction, it is smaller than your world and everything, there's a bigger future out there. Don't be paralyzed by it by so much and just like render your present like useless, like inconsequential, like it's not even, you don't even do anything, and just like, because the present, what's the present if not the future of something that you used to think of?
There's this all these motivational quotes that is ringing in my head. They say that today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So I mean,
use it well.
The present is what we have and is what we can control now.
Yeah.
So, but what we're saying with this whole the world is bigger than you, there's more out there, there's a big picture. The reason why we are saying that is knowing that whatever actions or inactions we are taking today kind of have an effect on our future. So for example, as a student in school now, I'm going to say something now. When I was in primary school, I know my younger brother would allude to this, can confirm this. When I was in secondary school, like as early as JS, I used to
high school, by the way.
Yeah, high school. Because it's a global audience. Exactly. True. So, I used to view going to school as my own office. So, like, my desk is like my office. My teachers.
Your mind is older than your age.
Don't people think like that?
No,
it is play.
Guys, nobody thinks like that. It is not a play.
I feel there will be people.
Nobody thinks that they are going to school as an office. They go to school to go and play.
Who goes to school to go and play?
Everybody goes to school to go and play. Not university. I'm talking about primary school. You are just excited to go and meet your friends. Learning is like, by the way, nobody even thinks of learning. They are just excited to go to school. Not, in fact, some people are not excited to go to school. It's at some point they just realize that, oh well, what? I'm actually in this school to learn.
So I used to look at it that way, and well, the reason why I said that was for people that are in school currently now. Some people might think that, they are not well prepared for life after school because maybe they've not had the chance to work, they've not had the chance to do any internships. But how you try and focus in class in the midst of noisy people is a skill that if you try and own properly now, would be useful for you later. Because in job, they usually put attention to details. It's usually part of the qualifications they ask for. And while of course it is not a skill you can use that example to defend in an interview, it is still something that at least you have. Group presentations, I tell people, don't shy from group presentations. Own it. Try and responsible for actions in your life, because whether you do it or not, something is going to happen. So the best you can do is ensure that what you are doing is good, so that if that is the one that the forces of nature or whatever would count for the result that comes to you, you know that you did a good part for it. So group presentations, for example, how you deal with your hostel roommates, the kind of person that feels like, I don't socialize, I don't like staying with people, I like my alone time. But at least in this world, you have to learn to get along with people. At the very least, even if they later come to understand that your social battery is low, you don't have too much energy to be talking to people for too long, but at least make the efforts to push yourself out there and be involved in what is going on around you, be actively involved in what is going on around you. And it is when you are doing that you even be able to spot opportunities for bigger things, like maybe employment, because employment is what most people are worried about. Oh, I want a job. It is when you're actively involved in things like that you will know that some people will not be saying that, oh, they invited us to come and speak at this place, and you'll be like, let me just tag along and go and see what is going on. And you never know who you're speaking to, that you get a job or something, or in doing all of that where you gain some insights about something that would be useful for you sometime later. So it's not until you definitely do the big things, like actually getting a job or doing this or doing that you're actively working about the big picture. But being actively present in what you are doing at that moment, seeing how it might be useful in the future, is one thing that I would encourage everyone to do.
I think one thing that Dear Spirit taught me recently that I should have actually taken note of, which I did take note of, like I need to consistently remember it, is when we think about purpose and fulfillment. And it's saying that it's not in doing the big things, it's not in doing the big projects, it is in the now, the little things, the minute things, all of it sum up that purpose. When you say, oh, I'm living in fulfillment, or I'm living a purposeful life, is in the now, the present now. What are you doing? If you say, oh, you want to be a writer, you are not there yet. You're not taking big gigs. You're not doing content writing for softwares, for Google, for Instagram, or all these big this thing. But right now, what are you doing? How are you making it up? Like, what are those molecules action? Like those minute little actions that you're doing that actually like take up the whole space for that time. Do you get? So it's not to be anxious of that big picture. It's just to focus on now. I'm supposed to be learning from you anyways, but
that's very, very, very profound, because to be honest, we sometimes get for believers, we sometimes get lost in what the word defines as purpose, as something big. But the reason why it's called purpose is because it's purpose because someone decided that this should be the reason, this should be why this thing is existing, this person is existing. So we should define it, the bigness or smallness of it based off that person that called this purpose. And to God, you've seen in Bible over time, scripture, what defines happiness to God is not whether the thing was grand or whether it was even successful self. It's simply obedience. Exactly. To God, exactly. Success to God does not always mean it was successful in our eyes, or it was big, or it was small, or it was neat.
That's the word for me right now. Right now. I receive, Lord, what you are saying.
Yes, ma'am. So it's we must learn to see it from the viewpoint of God. Yes, from God's point of view.
All right. Okay, we've come a long way, and we're going to be taking a break right now to go into another part of this. It's turned into a series already.
Oh shit.
So we're going to go into another part. We're going to be looking at this topic or this theme, or we're going to be looking at it from a very different point of view. You feel like as though we have just been bombarding you with information. Do this, don't do that, do this. So we're going to be looking at a more personal side. He's going to be sharing. Yes, he's going to be sharing his life story to us, with us.
Oh my! Life story.
So, anyways, catch you on the next episode.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for listening.
It was good being here.
Don't say bye bye yet. No, it's not good
right.
being here. You're not done. All right, bye. Until next time, study, pray, believe, and be with God.